One that shall never end. I was just watching two things: um, the campaign of the APC in the part of Nigeria, and the campaign of the PDP power in the northern Nigeria. One of them, that was a collapse of stage, and so sorry that such happened. It's a collapse of stage. They've forgotten that in any structure there is a capacity that has to be defined, and before they can know that, okay, this is number of 10 people that have to come on this stage, or number of 15 people that have to be on this stage, based on their weight, they determine the capacity, the strength of the wood and stuff like that. That is tells you that there is no code for any infrastructural development in Nigeria. There's no code for anybody to build a simple table. There's no code for anybody to build a simple or to connect two wires together. There's no code. That's where you see nothing is working in that country, Nigeria, because Nigeria is not existing. Nigeria is just in paper. Nigeria is just in paper in the sense that the World Bank, the IMF, the Central Bank of Nigeria, everybody just dictates the numbers. That's because it's not existing. It's just a frame. It's just a frame that is framed to put people there and to enslave them. That is what we are having in that country. And let me tell you one thing. On the Buhari side, Buhari was campaigning in I think in Kano, and the people from other country were there, and they were campaigning with him. Let's put a simple scenario. Imagine Donald Trump in the United States campaigning, and there is the president of France coming there to come and help him to campaign. That is absurd. And that is what can never happen in any civilized society. Whatever it happened, it means there's something more than that. Some months ago they were claiming that Buhari that you see is not the actual Buhari. They were saying that the person you are seeing is in Niger. It's not somebody from Niger, and people were counting. They were saying no. Oh, this it's a taboo that cannot happen. But how could you explain this in this situation? If there's no connection between the so called Nigeria president and the Niger government, how can that happen? How can somebody come from Niger to come and campaign? How can somebody come from other country to tell Nigerians what they have to do? How can somebody come from Niger with people from Niger to come and that's something there. And as a fellow Nigerian, my word to you might not be what you want to hear, but if you don't listen today, if you don't try as much as possible to understand the perspective at which I'm relaying my reaction and action to what is going on in Nigeria, then I will assure you, a day will come that you will sit back and shed tears, because every day that we fold our arms as if nothing happened or nothing is happening in that country, as if whatever is happening in Nigeria does not concern you. You don't care if because your mom, your father, your brothers, your sisters have not been killed, have not been kidnapped. Then you think, oh, that doesn't really matter. Oh, because your uncle, your sister, your aunt, your in-law, they are into politics, they are making some money there, so it doesn't matter. We don't need to change it. But I'm telling you, I will ask you just few questions. Where are the children of the people that led us 20, 30, 40 years ago? The same way I will tell you your own children that even though you are parading yourself today as a leader in Nigeria, without giving the necessary things, a thought to change that country, your children will be gone. And you that are youth, that you are running, oh Babake, oh brother, oh sir, oh this, in the name of just 8,000 naira, I'm telling you, you will go out on the street without job, and you will go and without water, you will go without food, because there's nothing working in Nigeria. There's no food on the table. Agriculture is it's not even working in a lot of part of Nigeria. There's no job for you to do graduating from college. There's no water for you to drink. There's no road for you to fly. There's no infrastructure for you to use. There's no internet for you to connect the rest of the world. The phone you are using is expensive, very, very expensive to manage. Now, there's no industry working in Nigeria. The cost of producing anything in Nigeria is more expensive than any country in Africa. I was listening to Shore debate, and a woman asked that power is in an exclusive list in Nigeria. That is nonsense. Power, health is a right of the people. It's supposed to be allowed. People supposed to be allowed to invest into power at their will. You should be able to generate power in your house. If you have water, you generate power to power your house. Fellow Nigerians, we cannot continue to exist this way. If you don't stop and think through this, either you are Obani, you are Oba ni o, Ìjòyè ni o, àdúgbò ni ìlú ni Àkókò lẹ́wà, Ògùn ló wà, Ọ̀yọ́, Jigawa, Sokoto, wherever you are in Nigeria, I have said it, I will say it again. We must sit down community by community, make our own laws, make our own rules, decide how we want to be governed. If you commit a crime in Jigawa, you must be judged by the state of Jigawa. If it is a particular community in Jigawa that you commit that crime, you will be judged according to what the people in that community say their law is. And if you commit a different crime in Ondo, and the people in Ondo say this is the way you're going to be judged, and that is the way you can be judged. I will give you a typical example. United States, there's a federal law, but each state have their own law that is more stronger, higher than the federal law. If you commit it, you'll be judged according to the law of that state, not according to the federal law. Federal is just a guidance. The state have their law. And the day the federal say the law of the state is not stand, that state will get out of the federation. And that is what is happening in Nigeria today. It is either the Wole Soyinka, it is whether the people that are either they are federates in Yoruba, the so-called APC, they say that they call them into correction. The OPC of the Yoruba people, the Arewas, the Biafras. It is time for us to sit back and reevaluate our existence, because we cannot continue like this. This has to stop. The land of our father that was signed away by the British, we have to get it back. We can never continue to be a slave in our own land. If you are hearing me, if you must die today, die for what belongs to you. If you must die today, die for what your father have shed their tears. A short history. I always say this, Yoruba people fought war. Many of you that are going on the street don't know. We fought wars within ourselves. If you are hearing, or Ekiti war, Akoko war, Ijebu, Egba, all these things, Ibadan. We fought war with the British for long years before they could have their fate to be the Yoruba kingdom. But unfortunately, they robbed them. Now we are being robbed then, and we are being robbed now. That some people will sit down somewhere and carve it's so-called constitution in 1999 and say, okay, constitution of Nigeria. Brothers, sisters, Nigeria have no constitution. Those guys are going to the court to go and defend the constitution and make stupid judges that are saying they are making some judgments. He says there is justice. There is no justice in Nigeria. Because if there is justice, someone that still got iniquity will be sentenced, while somebody that see billions in Abuja will be roaming on the street. Is there law? No, there's no law. So there's no constitution. The police are just operating. Police does not have reason for existence. The House of Assembly, do you see them performing? They couldn't perform because there's no constitution. All what they are carrying about is just what they are using to coerce us, to make us to assist in paper. Then the executive. The executive are just there to eat and to fund our money. As effective as Fashola was in Lagos State, do you see him performing as a minister of power? No, he won't be able to perform. Because the federal is not existing. In any democratic society, in any federation, everything belongs to the community, to the state. Education belongs to the state. Police belong to the state. Security belongs to the state. It is only the army and the military that is controlled by the federal. But in Nigeria, it's not the same. That is why everything failed. Awolowo declared free education in the 50s. That is the first free education in the history of the world. Free education for everybody. It's a black man like me and you. But he understands the necessity for education. With the few amounts of money from Cocoa, he was able to give free education to the entire western region in Nigeria. He built Cocoa House. He built radio station. He built university. He built roads. But what have we gotten from oil? The oil company that have been in Nigeria, have they been paying tax? Or have they contributed to the society where they are operating for the last 50 years? If you go to Bayelsa, nothing is existing. If you go to Cross River, nothing. If you go to everywhere where this oil company are operating, there's nothing existing. And yet, they are operating with what license? Because there is something that they have cheered Nigeria to themselves even before our independence. How can we continue to exist as a country when the minority are overruling over the majority? And how can we continue to rule as a country when the foreign country is dictating how our lives should be governed? Can Canada dictate to United States how the United States will be governed? Of recent, Donald Trump cancelled the treaty, the so-called trade agreement between them and China and some other countries, even EU and NATO, because it's not favoring them. If Britain can exit from EU, so why can't our people exit from the existence of Nigeria? If everything is not favoring us, if it does not favor us, we have the right to exit from the existence of Nigeria to exist together as Yoruba people. So therefore, United Kingdom cannot sit down wherever they sit down and be enforcing our existence together by virtue of their own profit. So anybody that have ears should listen. That Nigeria as an existence, it is the only thing that can make us to country exist together. It is for the people of every community to decide how we want to be governed. The federation has failed, and we stand to say it must stop. United Nations must listen to us and must allow us to separate ourselves if we are not allowed to dictate how we govern. Every decree that have ever caused Nigeria to exist together must be dissolved. The land tenure system by Obasanjo was fraud. I have land in that my father have owned for thousands of years, and somebody will come tomorrow and say that belongs to an Hausa man, or it belongs to a Fulani man, or it belongs to a Shekri, or it belongs to a Robo, or it belongs to a Egba man. No. And that is the main reason why Nigeria is not working. That is the main reason why company can never come to Nigeria and operate successfully. That is the reason why people are not having job to do. That is the reason why power cannot work. That is the reason why institutions will continue to fail. That is the reason why we will continue to be in poverty. And that is the reason we are in this slavery mentality. Anywhere you are, in Nigeria, in America, in Asia, in Europe, as Nigerian, it is time for you to rise up and face this challenge in Nigeria, and let us stand with all hands together, and let us decide how Nigeria must be governed. We have the ultimate right to freedom, to liberty, and to life in our country. Our fathers, our wives, our children, our brothers, our fathers, everybody, even foreigners, have rights. But we will not be in our own country and the foreigner will be dictating how our lives will be governed. Imagine in one of the countries in Africa, when Chinese was taking over their land. For what reason? I don't care how much they have owned you. I don't care how much they have gotten from you. Africa is not, we cannot go to another slavery in our own land. It is now time for us to go against everything that any foreign country wants to do in our land to enslave us. The slavery of the second or the third time? No. China will come operate in Nigeria. They will bring thousands of their people. That have to stop. We have technical colleges. If they get a project in Nigeria, they should come and train Nigerians for 3 months. Train our people for 3 months. What they have to deliver. Then they will start the operation. During this time, we know how much it's going to contribute to our economy. Construction alone contributes trillions of dollars to the United States economy every year when there is construction. So how much has construction contributed to Nigeria since Chinese has been taking over our job? Because the money is paid to China. And our leaders, the so-called leaders, they sit down there, they were parading themselves. They build train that is 50 years old. And they sit down inside of it because it's well packaged. And they were shouting. They were Nigerians. We can build the best train in the world in Nigeria. We can build the best airport in the world in Nigeria. We can build the best factories in the world in Nigeria. We can build the best institutions in the world in Nigeria. We can build the best technology in the world in Nigeria. It takes what I'm telling you for us to get there. Every community must decide how they must be governed. Every state will base their law on what the entire community in the state says. And everywhere in Nigeria, the owner of the land owns the land and the resources therein. No more saying that the federal government own nothing, because the federal government of Nigeria is not existing. People are going to school every day. Our parents are paying. Okay. They will say quota system. The day I got admission to school in the north, I was doing screening. And the person that was doing screening asked me, "Who gave you admission in this school?" I told him, "God." He said, "Go away. That God will do screening for you today." But funny enough, me and him became so close later. He was my departmental Shodi. We were so close, always coming, Papa. So I always had to challenge him in the class, you know. And on the quota system, if somebody score 160 in the north to study medicine, he might get admission to study medicine. While somebody that scored 250 in the west will struggle to get admission. That is absurd. So why are we one Nigeria? I don't care wherever you come from. Everything in Nigeria must be based on one same principle. And if not, everybody should be setting their own exam and let everybody be assisting separately. That is it. We cannot continue to condone the nonsense. It's one Nigeria. Everything must be done with one. If it's run by each institution, they dictate how they want to admit people. And if they dictate that, okay, they want to admit people by 100 score, simple. But the federal government will not dictate. Everything called quota system must be destroyed because it is a one Nigeria. Nobody is born to rule. That you are from the west or from the south, everybody must cast their vote and biometrics must be used. And I can never accept that the northern Nigeria are more populous than the southern Nigeria. It doesn't happen. It can never happen. Go and check the map of the world, anywhere in the world, being in Asia, being in America, being in Europe. It has never happened. That a dry land where there is no water will have more population than a fertile land. Even if the fact that you consider what is called rural urban migration is something else. So, fellow Nigerian, it is time you stand up for your right. It is time you stand on your feet and defend what belongs to you. Stop saying articulated. Article what? The stadium that was built under the passenger regime in Abuja, do you know how much that was stolen by Atiku? The telecommunication that is operating now, do you know how much corruption that involves Atiku? Just Atiku alone. The power plant, the power project, do you know how much that involved Atiku? So what are we talking about? How do we manage to lose our sense of reasoning? And let's assume that you are even young. You are young. Because there's no more ability for you to reason, to ask questions. Let's assume you are just 24 and you are saying that Atiku he has business. Atiku has no business. It's Nigerian money. Just the way you look at Dangote. Dangote, to me, doesn't have any money. It's Nigerian money. Because go and check his record. Where is he work? Where are the people that invested into his work before he became what he became? What is the record? No record. You cannot trace their record. Most of the so-called billionaires in Nigeria, they have no record to trace. They graduated, work here, work here, work here, work here. Because Nigeria is just existing in paper. And the rest of the world nowadays, that is why there is too much corruption. Everybody that want to come out operate business in Nigeria, to come and help in Nigeria, everybody is sitting down there. They are begging them to give money. At the airport, people are begging for money. At the hospital, people are begging for money. Everywhere, people are begging for money. For what? Now you see on social media, people are begging for money everywhere. And yet, these same idiots are begging for money. When you say they should go and vote right, they will not vote right. You will see them chanting the name of the stupid people. People that are vibrant, that are intelligent, that have never tasted power, that have the ability to even make things work. They will never see them. They think that what they are saying is not right. So how and when can we get our mental ability ready to change in Nigeria? Why are you educated if you cannot think? Then go to the farm and start cultivating. In fact, even my father that is a farmer is more intelligent than most of you that are educated. Because of Kawede, they just went to school, they have no sense of reasoning. They're so co-educated. Is that I will get you right? We get Nigeria right and deliver our country from the hands of the cabal. You have heard me again, but I'm telling you, the solution to Nigeria is in the hand of the people. It is not in the hand of those people that we call them the government. And the people, what they need to do is to rise up and demand that they want to make their own law. House of Assembly cannot make our law. They cannot write our constitution for us because they are there illegally, because they are not there on that normal legal constitution, and they are not there that legal constitution. On that note, they cannot make our law. We must write our own constitution. The people, every community, every state, every tribe, and that governs them. Then we can live together in peace, without fear. Anywhere you go, you have documents of how wherever you are going operate, and you abide by their laws. And every of our resources from wherever we are coming from, we give the federal only 20%. That the federal will now be giving the state whatever they think they want to. That will be the end of it. That can never continue to happen. We mine our resources, our resources, and we make sure we give the federal the percentage that is meant for the federal, so that we can build our people, we build our land, invite investors to build what we have, to improve power, to improve our sense of our living ability. Our competitiveness is a key to us. We cannot continue to operate like this in a country, in a continent where we have people. That is an asset. And we have the resources. That is also an asset. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you.